Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Micah. Today I'm showing you my Shop My Stash again because it's the first Tuesday of the month. These are all the products that I was using this month, so I'm going to give you some quick mini reviews of some of the products that I was using, and then I'm going to take you through my drawers to show you the products that I will be selecting for next month. And let's just get to what is in here, and then we'll just work our way through the right, and then we'll do eyeshadow palettes. So for face, I am still trying to use up my powder, and this is the powder I've been using. This is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed. Look at that pan. This is on its way out. Like, I only have a few weeks of use left, especially here in the top, but I'm wearing it down quite nicely, so this powder is going to stay until it's used up. Hopefully by the next Shop My Stash, this will no longer be in here. For foundation, I mentioned that I wanted to use up the Maybelline Fit Me foundation that was in here last month, and I used that up, and then I switched to this. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation. This is the Hydrating Longwear foundation, and I have mine in the shade 120. Love the shade, love the consistency. This feels very nice and lightweight on the skin. In terms of lasting power, I have found that it actually lasts pretty well on my skin, especially this being a very hydrating foundation. But what I have found is that it does transfer quite a bit. So you have to be quite careful with like touching your face and like scarves and things like that, because it does tend to like transfer or like rub off your face quite easily. Nice foundation. It's not my favorite foundation of all time because of that rubbing off factor. But yeah, this is something that I am going to at some point use a bit more. But for now, I feel I have had a good enough try with this. So I'm going to keep this in here because this was the other foundation that I wanted to try this month. But because the Maybelline took a little bit longer to use up, I didn't get around to using this Hourglass Vanish Stick. I have mine in the shade Alabaster, and I really think that this can be a really nice, also again, hydrating foundation. So for the winter time, this looked like something I might like. So I'm going to leave this in together with the powder because I just want to try that Hourglass foundation, and then we'll add like another foundation to put in here for a bit of variety. Another base product that I used was concealer. I ended up not using the Infallible Concealer by L'Oreal at all. I thought I hadn't tried this much at all yet. But turns out I did already use it for an entire month in like the fall time, and I had completely forgotten about it. So this is one I don't have to use. So when I used up the Kokie one, I actually switched to this. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And I used this in my full face of e.l.f. and didn't like it at all. And some of you were giving me tips on how to make better use out of this. And it just means that you need to go area for area when you're blending it in, because else you just won't be able to blend this in very well, which I didn't know going into it. I have mine in the shade Fair Beige, and I feel it's a bit too light for me, actually. It's just that I have concealers that I feel work better for me. Do I feel this is a bad product? Not at all. But I think it's just not really something that works really well with my type of skin and what I look for in a concealer. So it's just down to personal preference. If you like this, this is a good concealer. It's just not giving me what I want. Then for highlights, I have two in here. I've been wearing this a lot towards the end of the month. This is the Kiko Shade Fusion highlighter in the shade 01. Boy, I'm not sure if you can see that, but this is so used. Like, it's got dents and scrapes and like, oh, this is a great highlighter for like every day. So if you're looking for something a bit more subtle, not too intense and metallic, this is so lovely. I reach for this all the time. It's in the shade 01, which is the lightest one. It's like a very pretty light gold, and as you can see here in the middle, I'm getting a bit of a dent. So again, in terms of like at some point in time hitting pan on a highlighter, this would be a candidate, but I'm ready to pick something differently. And then of course Becca. This is Rose Quartz, and this one I reviewed this month. It was the first time I was really trying this. And in the pen, this looks quite dark, but on my face, it's like the perfect pink highlighter. Love Becca, love their formula. Again, I want to use something differently for February, but this will make an appearance in the future. For bronzer, I had two in here, and to be quite honest, I wanted to try and see if I could get more use out of this Becca bronzer in Bali Sands. And I did for like a week or two, but then I switched to the Makeup Forever one. And this one I had to scrape down because it got a lot of heartpan actually, and it's probably because I hadn't used it for like a year. I also think it's starting to pull away from the side, so this seems to shrink a little bit, so it's probably drying out. Because this is like a gel to powder formula. I love this. I actually am now loving this more than the Becca one. The Becca one is really nice. They do something very similarly actually, but for this time of year, I like this. So again, I'm going to keep this in for a bronzer. And for a second bronzer, I think I'll select something differently again. And then for blush, oh, I have 4 blushes in here. I never really reached for this one. This is NARS Sex Appeal, and I just think that this is on its way out of my collection. This is a really pretty soft peach shade that works really well if you're fair and it's winter and you want to wear blush but you don't want it to be overly noticeable. I wore this a few times again this month, liked it. It's just that I have blushes that I like more than this, and this packaging, like NARS packaging, because it's rubberized, just gets a bit grubby after a while, so it feels a bit funky. My love affair with the Balm Instain blush in Lace continued again this month. I put this in a Get Ready With Me because I was like, boy, this looks like such a bright pink shade, but with a light hand, this can look so pretty, like flushed in from the cold, kind of pretty. I'm in love with this. I really am. So, again, I love wearing this in the winter time, so I may want to keep it in for another round, but I may actually think, I think I actually want to go for like other blushes this month. And then we have one of my all-time favorites, the H&M Beauty blush in Tawny Peach. This I put in to have something a bit more neutral in here. This shade has been discontinued, but these H&M blushes are really, really good. More people should be raving about them. This shade is great. It's just like one of those shades that you throw on. Doesn't look like blush, but it looks so pretty. And the same goes for the Tarte one. This is one of those blushes, like the Lace blush actually, that looks really intimidating in the pan, but then with a light hand, this looks so stunning in the winter time. That flushed in from the cold look it has as well. It's more like a pink toned red, so that's why it gives me something very similarly to the Balm's one. Yeah. So this is a really stunning blush as well. I was very happy to try it this month, and I'm very happy I finally picked up this shade, which is Natural Beauty. So last month when I took you through my Shop My Stash, I barely had any lipsticks in here because I was trying to use up a lipstick, and that was the Catrice Power Plumping Gel Lipstick in 030 Speak Up, and so I hadn't really been using a lot of different lipsticks that month. This month, as you can see, it's a whole different story. I've been using a couple of ones, and this is a newer formula to me. This is the Glossier Generation G lipstick in Crush. This was also in that full face Get Ready With Me that I did. And this was one I was unsure of, and one of you suggested that I should try and use this over another lipstick shade. It's just that I don't really have anything that this is very complementary to, I feel. So I've been feeling it works best if I first use lip balm and then put this on top. That's the best combo so far. It's just I feel that I have to get used to the coverage this gives. Like, I'm used to full-on bam color. And this is actually really pretty, and as I've been wearing it more and more, I just think it's something I have to get used to. So this is definitely something I will find myself reaching for a little bit more if I want to go for that like subtle, almost like blurry kind of effect that it has, because I do enjoy that. I wore something a bit more vampy as well. This is Maybelline's Midnight Merlot. This is one of my favorite, like, really vampy sort of shades, so I wore that a few times this month. Maybe just once or twice. I didn't reach for it a whole lot. And I also reached for this YSL lipstick in 207. This is one of their Rouge Pour Couture mattes, and it's like a deeper pink, like rosy kind of shade. It's not a shade I go for a lot, but in the wintertime I like this quite a bit because it has that depth to it. And it's not neutral because it has quite a bit of pink to it. So it works really well if you're wearing other like pink looks. So I wore it a lot with my Urban Decay Naked 3, which we'll see in a minute. Then I think everything else apart from this these two are both reds. Yeah. So for reds, I've been using some of my more recent purchases. The Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Velvet Ribbon. Oh my, this is such a stunning lipstick. So I wore this again quite a bit this month. But where is that for me is my custom Bite Beauty red lipstick. This is a little bit darker than a regular red lipstick, and that's why I love it so much. So that's why that got a lot of use. And these are all the nudes I've been pulling into. This I wore quite a bit. This is a Kiko, what are these called? Velvet Passion lipsticks. And this is in the shade 319. And it's like a cooler mauve-y brownie shade. It's really different. It's almost like a taupe. And I thought it looked really stunning with a lot of the looks I was doing this month. So these Kiko lipsticks I still have to review. I have 3 of them, and I have yet to wear the other shades a bit more. But this is definitely my favorite of the 3. And then I wore another Bite Beauty lipstick. This is a long-standing favorite. Look at how beat up that is. This is why I got those custom Bite lipsticks, because this is Rhubarb. And as you can see, this is well loved. This is one of my favorite nudes. It's a bit deeper than most nudes go for, but that's what I like about it, because it does stand out for that reason. So Rhubarb, love that one. And then I wore 2 OG MAC lipsticks that I've had for a while. I'm not sure whether I should still be wearing these actually. This is Velvet Teddy. This was my first ever MAC lipstick. And as you can see, that's also very well loved. This is what my lipstick tend to do when I wear them a lot. They sort of go very diagonal, like a very sharp edge there. So Velvet Teddy I wore quite a bit with some of the warmer things I've been wearing. And then my OG favorite, Mare. Oh, this is such a great lipstick. And this is like the perfect mauve pink. And that's, I rediscovered this. I've fallen in love with all over again. So those are all of the lipsticks. Then we have the rest here, mascara, brows. Most of this is still going pretty okay, apart from this little mini Chanel mascara that I have in here. Le Volume de Chanel. Pretty, so pretty, but I will never buy a full size of it because I go through mascara too quickly. But this is, like, I'm done with it. I'm going to be using it for a video that I'm filming right after this, which you'll be seeing later this week. And then I'm going to put it in my used up makeup. And I want to replace it with this. I found this in my drugstore the other day. This is the new Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. And it seems to be very similar to the Falsies Flared, which is one of my favorites by Maybelline, but like a different incarnation of that. So I thought I could put this in here and make that my new mascara. So a brand new launch that I just happened to spot, and it was on offer, so that's why I got that. Then over here, our usual fare is over here. So I've got my MAC Paint Pot and the Body Shop eyeshadow. We'll just keep using those until they're gone. The same goes for these 2 eyelid primers. I had to change out my lip balm, so I put in this one by Essence. This is the My Beauty Lip Ritual Moisturizing Balm with Cherry Blossom Extract. And this is a really nice lip balm to put on before you wear lipstick because it's hydrating enough, but it's also thin enough that it's easily to wipe off before you put on lipstick. And then these 2 products over here I need to mention, or actually 3, because this is my Bobbi Brown Corrector, which is almost gone. Not sure if you can see that, but that is on its last legs. Like, it's got a few more uses in here. So I definitely want to use that more this month. But I have to wear something that's less full coverage than the e.l.f. one, because I felt with the e.l.f. one it became a bit too much. Then this you can't see because it's been lying flat down, but I only have like this much left in this Becca primer, so I will just again use this up and then select something new. And then my Makeup Revolution fixing spray, as you can see, whoop, you can't see that this way, but this is about halfway done. So still have like another month or 2 left in that one. So those were all of the regular products. So now we have eyes left, which I've just put over here. And I was on a complete neutral kick this past month. And there are already 2 palettes that I know I want to use this next month that are a little less neutral. So don't worry, I'll be wearing some color. But one of the new palettes that I bought in my Black Friday haul that I wanted to try was the Juvia's Place, the Nomad. And oh wow, I'm loving these shades. I'm not too big a fan of the glitters that are in this one, but I feel you can use it as a matte and then it's fine. And I love these 2 shimmers that you get in here. It's a lot of mattes, but it has like, and it's warm toned, but these are the kind of warm tones that I love. So I was loving the looks that I created with this, and yeah, Juvia's Place quality as absolutely stellar. So love that. Went back to my OG favorite, the Naked 3, did a handful of looks with this over like a work week. And I just, again, I still love this till this day. We'll be reaching for it some more at some point in the future, I'm sure. And the same goes for my Lorac Pro 3. Lovely palette. Again, like I think that I can hit pan on rose bronze if I make an effort, because that has such a big dent in it. Lovely, lovely palette. And then we have this combo, because this is the combo I was wearing. This is the Stila Glitter and Glow in Wanderlust, and it's like a pinky base with a gold shift, and that's why it went perfectly well with these mattes from Dose of Colors. I like a bit of shimmer on my lid, so an all matte palette is a bit boring for me, but with this in the crease, that in the outer V, this all over the lid, this in the inner corner, and then that dabbed all over it, like the Stila Glitter and Glow all over it. It was I wore that like 3 days straight in a row because I loved it so much. And then the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar I was wearing this month as well. This is a palette not a lot of people liked because it's so light and fair and cool tone. So on anyone with a complexion deeper than mine, this is going to look super ashy. But I love this. These peaches make for like such soft, sweet, romantic looks. These neutrals over here, you get some pops of color. These three shimmers are lovely. I love this all over the lid too. The only shade I don't really wear a lot is Banana Date, but everything else in here I've now used. Again, I used this during my work week and I loved it. The only thing that I didn't really like was this. This is the Revolution Pro New Neutral. I got this to try Makeup Revolution again and I'm not a fan. These glitters are so difficult to take off and they get all over your eyes and they get into your eyes, and I'm not sure if these are eye safe. Like I had to dig these glitters out of my tear duct. Not a good, that's just not, no. No, big no. And while you see all these like lovely like rosy and plummy undertones in these shades, in real life I feel that everything in here pulls brown, and that's been one of my main gripes with Makeup Revolution for a long time, is that it looks really stunning in the pan and then you put it on and everything looks the same. And I feel that this palette suffers from that too. I've used every single shade in here by now, and I mean, if you're looking for these kind of shades and you don't want to spend too much money on it, sure, it's nice, but I just have better quality in my makeup collection that I don't feel I need to keep this when I come around to my declutter by the end of this month. I'm terribly sorry if it feels very crooked for you guys, but this is my top drawer, as we all know, and I'm going to be selecting some products again that I would like to try out this month. One thing that I know I want to bring in for base is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I love this in the winter time because it has such hydrating properties, so that's why this has got to go into my Shop My Stash for February. For concealer, I actually have to go over to the other drawer because I keep my pot concealers in the other drawer, and I want to use up that Bobbi Brown Corrector, and I think this Glossier Stretch Concealer is not only super hydrating, but it will also go really well with that Bobbi Brown Corrector. So I feel that like I'm going for the hydration this month, you guys. This is what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using up the primer by Laura Mercier, I hope sometime soon. And I'm not really sure what I would like to use next. I think what I'm gonna try and do is use up some of these like Catrice or Essence, like one of these two. I felt they were very comparable. These are also super hydrating. I think I'll go with the Essence one first. So I'll use that up when the Becca one runs out. And these little Essence and Catrice ones last you like 4 to 6 weeks because there is less product in there. But I will select that and put it in the actual drawer once the Becca one is gone. Then for blush, I think we have to start all over. So let me see. I definitely want to put in something glowy because I feel like I need a bit of glow in my life. So what will I select? Let me see what's underneath here. Yeah, I think, first of all, I'm not sure which one of these I want to try, but I found out, I think this one, isn't that the peachy one? That's like a little bit more pink, and then this may be a bit more peach. Oh, this is a bit darker. So this will be better for the springtime. But this, the Balm Beach Blush, I found out I have never actually really used that much. So I think this could actually be a good replacement for that NARS blush that I say I may want to get rid of. So this may be like a nice neutral, a little bit of glow in there. I think, do I want to use this? This is a mini Benefit Gold Rush that I might want to try. But I think I'll go in with Hourglass Mood Exposure. Those are like 3 good staples. Everything has a bit of glow, so that's good. Nice. And then for, let me move to this side. For the second bronzer that I would like to use, I haven't used this Fenty one all that much. So maybe I should go in with this. So I'll go in with the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker Bronzer in the Sun. And then in here, oh, I definitely need to do something with that new Nabla highlighter. This is the Nabla Skin Glazing Highlighter in Privilege that I bought for Black Friday and I haven't even put on my face yet. So I need to use that. And then I think I'll use Dandelion Twinkle because then I have something a bit more intense and peachy and something a bit more everyday and a bit more like neutral pink. So then I have something a bit more warm toned and a bit more cool toned. And yes, this is why I need to declutter, you know? Alright, and then for eyes, last but not least, I will be selecting these 2 to be using this month. I wanted to use a bit more color, but still a bit more neutral, and I think that going into the spring, these may be nice. I used the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette in my full face Get Ready With Me, using only e.l.f. products, and I fell a bit in love with this, but I definitely would like to try every single shade in here. So that's the task I'm going to set myself for this month. And since I didn't like that new neutral all that much, I'm very curious what this Cannabis Chilled palette by Makeup Revolution is going to be like. This looks stunning again in the pan. So I hope this will be different quality that I like better. Who knows? Again, it's got neutrals, but it also has those greens. So I think I'm going to have a bit of a green moment. People were asking me why I'm not selecting any lipsticks or eyeshadow to pull, but I don't really know what I want to go for an entire month. So that's why I know I want to get to these 2 at least, but there's probably going to be like a couple of other palettes that I will be pulling in this month that I want to try, but that I want to use for like my day-to-day life, but I'm not sure yet what that's going to be. And I match my lipstick according to what eyeshadow I'm wearing, so depending on what these looks are going to be, I will pull in lipstick. So that's why those are never in my Shop My Stash. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more by me. I do these Shop My Stash videos on the first Tuesday of every month, and I think I will want to try and do another Get Ready With Me using some of the products from my Shop My Stash later this month to update you on how I feel about some things, etc., etc. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye!